What's up, people? This is the Nature Girl 30 here, coming to you on a lovely Tuesday morning. I actually did a raw review slash rant a little while ago, but for some reason, the YouTube video cam only picked up about 8 minutes of it, and I actually did 12. But anyway, I'm going to make this short, sweet, and to the point. There was a lot of foreshadowing going on last night, especially with Triple H. With Triple H coming out, having his usual time to shine, the one thing that really caught my eye was the fact that when he was talking to John Cena later on before his match with Jack Swagger. Now, Triple H was talking like, nothing's going to happen in the match unless I allow it to happen. It was instant foreshadowing there. Is he going to have a screw job? What's going to happen? It actually leads you to think that maybe it could be a possible screw job on John Cena. Who knows? Because John Cena actually says that he believes he's doing it for his ego. Duh. We all know that. But, there's foreshadowing there. Beth Phoenix versus Eve. The most underwhelming Divas match I've ever seen in my life, because it was pretty not only the match itself was a little underwhelming because you already knew that Beth Phoenix was going to dominate Eve. It was just a matter of time. The underwhelming rescue with Kelly coming down the ring and just giving a love tap to Beth Phoenix in the back of the head was completely underwhelming. But what makes me really happy about Beth Phoenix was the fact that she said that, no more stink faces, no more pretty girls trying to hold the belt. We want real women champions. She didn't really say that verbatim, but I'm actually loving that because I really do want the Divas division to actually mean something instead of just TNA. Not the actual show, but literally just TNA. And I really see her as more of a Divas champion than Kelly, to be completely honest with you. All right, Dolph Ziggler versus A-Rod. We knew that this was coming. We all knew that Vicky Guerrero was going to be soon kicked to the curb, and it's kind of noted that she's becoming a lot more annoying lately, especially that her voice is getting louder and louder and more shrill, and now she's actually promoting herself to be more of a cougar than anything else. Why, I do not know. But with her skirt pretty much hiked up to where her butt was showing, was kind of irky to me. But anyhow, it's foreshadowing there that Dolph Ziggler is going to finally kick Vicky to the curb after he loses the belt to A-Rod, which is pretty decent because the U.S. title is actually now a starter belt, and it doesn't have as much meaning as it did in the past. So A-Rod is going to be a good holder, especially that'll be his first championship title, and I think that's his best title to have at the time. Well, at whatever happens at SummerSlam. But John Cena versus Jack Swagger. The match wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It started off a little slow, a little sluggish, but then it started speeding up to where it was actually gaining momentum and it was becoming a little entertaining. It was disappointing to see Jack Swagger get buried like that, especially with a top name like John Cena. You kind of want to bring up some of your superstars, and I knew that John Cena was not going to lay down for Jack Swagger. But it makes me sad because Jack Swagger does not have as much airtime as he used to. And not to mention his title reign is not as memorable as all the others. So Jack Swagger really needed to be pushed, and it really made me sad that Jack Swagger got buried by John Cena that night. I don't know. We're probably going to be seeing Jack Swagger on Superstars from now on after that. But moving on from there, JoMo versus R-Truth. Now, R-Truth had a backstage interview. We all know how I feel about R-Truth. For those that have actually watched my videos, you know how I feel about the man. You know that I do not like the way that they're portraying his character to be a crazy black dude on crack, which is pretty much how he's acting, or on psychedelic shrooms, or whatever makes you hallucinate, especially about the spider thing, is just making him look crazy. But anyway, moving on from there. R-Truth and JoMo. That match, I remember that being on the SummerSlam card. I remember it being on the SummerSlam card. I remember that was supposed to be JoMo's comeback match at SummerSlam. But that got 86'd. Why? Why did you get rid of that? And it makes sense because for some reason they keep putting them into either tag team matches or individual matches. And I guess they're trying to get rid of the feud. Why? You should try to the whole purpose of John Morrison coming back was to try to bring him back up after his injuries and being gone for so long. And I promise you I saw that on the SummerSlam card. But then when I looked on the website, it was completely 86'd. Ridiculous. That would have been an awesome match if they just promoted it more and didn't have it on Raw every night. It would have been a great match. The feud would have been squashed, and then they would have found something to do with them from there. Because I know that R-Truth is going to be there a little while because he's crazy. JoMo is, he may be a casualty of war. But maybe not of war, but just a casualty, like somebody that's just going to pass by later on because they have nothing to do. I mean, that he's injured all the time, and they just may not find anything to do with him. But I think it was a really bad mistake not having them as a aired match on SmackDown. And it seems to me that they may have them as a dark match, which I think will be a huge mistake for the both of them. They both need to be pushed. Now, The Miz really did impress me. He impressed me a lot with his match that he had last night against Kofi Kingston. Well, actually, it was supposed to be against Rey Mysterio, but he beat the crap out of him before he even came out. Now, when he actually made it known that he was like, do you know who my opponent is on SummerSlam? Neither do I. And honestly, it's sad because The Miz has definitely carried his character well. He is acknowledged as a great heel, not to mention the fact that he actually brings money on the table. Why don't you have this man in a match? And seeing that how he was aggressive enough to come out there and beat the crap out of one of the top faces. He's not a top, but he's like maybe like about a 3 or 4 on Raw. The fact that he was pretty much one of the most known faces there, and he beat the crap out of him. You gotta take the guy seriously. That has to take notice after what he did. So I'm really hoping that we see more of The Miz, and I'm really hoping that he actually has a match with SummerSlam, because at this point they have only 4 matches so far, 2 of them being titles. So I'm hoping that they add something on there as time goes on, because usually the deal is sealed at SmackDown, because that's pretty much the last event, the last WWE live event that's going on before a pay-per-view. So I'm hoping that they add more matches on. I'm hoping that The Miz will actually get a match. I don't know. It's just that when you thought that the final event was going to come up and be, I actually thought that one of the matches with my brain just glitched on me. CM Punk's match with Alberto Del Rio. I actually thought that was going to be like one of the main events that was going to come a little later, but that actually came a little bit earlier, which is not too bad. Honestly, that was a pretty decent match. I liked it. It was one of my favorite matches of the night, because Alberto Del Rio is awesome when it comes to submission moves. And so is CM Punk. They're great when it comes to submission moves. But then when I saw that CM Punk was doing this with his arm, that makes me wonder that his injury is going to probably play a huge role in him on the pay-per-view, especially against John Cena. And honestly, I'm hoping that they don't do it to where that his shoulder injury is going to be what's going to take him out. Was going to be what's going to make him lose. But then I'm also predicting, or maybe it's a possible foreshadowing moment, that Alberto Del Rio is going to cash the Money in the Bank in on CM Punk after CM Punk wins. It could be possible. Who knows? Because the same thing happened to John Cena. And I think it was for Armageddon. It was either Armageddon or the Elimination Chamber. I think it was the Elimination Chamber. And Edge came out of nowhere, and he actually cashed in the Money in the Bank on John Cena after John Cena won. Now, that happened to John Cena before. Alberto Del Rio may do the exact same thing to CM Punk if CM Punk wins. There's a lot of foreshadowing here, but it can go either way. The final moment of the night was the contract signing for the Undisputed Championship title. Now, I like this because it was a war of words. They were both going back and forth. No one no one could out-Trump the other. CM Punk pretty much pwned John Cena most of the time, especially when he got the Rock's YouTube rant and brought it on the Raw. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people didn't see that, as if you've seen my video before talking about how they're trying to incorporate social media in with the storyline. A lot of people may not have known that. Some people may have known that. But the thing is, it just seems to me that YouTube is definitely becoming a part of the WWE now, especially what John Cena was saying about, bringing out the heel more. And I really do think that somebody on YouTube has probably had a shout out. I don't know who it was, but that would have been sweet if, whoever it was, good job. John Cena actually noticed you. But honestly, that was a great moment of the night. It was a war of words back and forth. But one thing that definitely stuck with me was not only the ending where John Cena hit Triple H by mistake and Triple H pushed him back, which it does lead to maybe a little bit of a screw job there. But what John Cena said to CM Punk before they signed the contracts. And CM Punk is like, John Cena's like, okay, you got everybody's attention here, and you're right. If I lose, yeah, I'm gonna be on the WrestleMania card. I'm gonna go out and face The Rock. What about you? You have a lot more to lose than I do. I'm gonna go to WrestleMania and I'm gonna face The Rock. What about you? If you lose, you got all these people listening to you. What's gonna happen? Your career can either go up or go down. He has a point. Foreshadowing? Who knows? Leave your comments below if you agree with me. If I leave a match out, definitely let me know. Leave a comment below. If you like what I'm saying, if you like this channel, subscribe up above. Blah. Subscribe up above. This is the Nature Girl 30 here, signing off. See you later.